But when this situation came, there came a situation that disrupted everything. The scripture teaches us that Adam and Hava was upon the face of the earth to till the ground and have dominion over the fish of the sea, the fowl of the air, and over everything that creepeth upon the face of the earth. That's what the scripture teaches us, right? Yah gave him dominion, and he gave Hava dominion afterwards, being with her husband. Okay, because man wasn't supposed to be alone. But there was an adversary. The word for adversary in the Hebrew in this instance is called Nachash. Hanachash, Hanachash, the adversary. Pardon me, I have to clear my throat. There was something that happened, and we know what happened. Man partook of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and they became in a fallen state. And there are other things that have taken place during this time. All right, let's go into chapter 6. Let's drop where we were, and let's go into chapter 6. And it says, and it came to pass that the children of men had multiplied in those days. Okay? Had multiplied in those days, were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. All right? Got to kind of excuse me because I'm trying to read and keep this phone steady. Now listen to this. It's telling us that when men begin to multiply upon the face of the earth, that daughters were born unto them according to the Torah and according to this book of Enoch. And it says, and the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, after the daughters of men, which was out of their place. They weren't supposed to intermingle with human beings. They were not supposed to take and lust after human beings. They were set in a heavenly place, and man was of the earth, and they were heavenly creatures. But listen to this. They lusted after them. So the women upon the face of the earth were already beautiful. They were beautiful women. They were already upon the face of the earth. Yah had already made you the way he wanted women to be. Even those women that are not so beautiful, he made you that way for a particular purpose. Look at me. I'm not a gorgeous man. I'm not a handsome man. I'm just an average, everyday Joe. Okay? But Yah made me the way he wanted me to be. And he made me this way for a purpose. All right? The purpose being that if he would, there's certain characters about me that maybe I would have got lifted up in pride. You know, if I was really one of those dashing young men that women just flocked after, maybe I would never have gotten into the place where he wanted me to be in this day and time. You know, with my walk with him, he knows the reason why he makes us the way he wants us to be. And we have to allow Yahweh, and not allow, we have to humble ourselves and be subject to the will of Yah. It's not, we don't allow anything. You know, we need to humble ourselves and be subject to the will of the Creator and follow the path whereby which we are supposed to walk. All right. So listen, let's go a little bit further. All right. Let's talk. Now, see, I can really preach this thing. I'm not trying to preach it to you today. I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying to let you understand where you women are erring at and where you're causing a lot of things to go wrong. And the reason why that there's going to come a punishment to you if y'all don't change your ways. All right. Excuse me. So the Lord said after them and said to one another, come, let us choose us wives from among them. Hold on for a second. Okay, let us choose wives from the children of men. Okay. And let us get children. Listen to this. Let us get children. And this is another name of an angel, which I'm not going to pronounce the name. But the spelling of this angel's name is Semjaza, who was their leader. Okay, this is the leader of this particular group of angels. Said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall now listen to this, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. These angels knew that what they were going to do at this particular point, it was going to be a penalty, a price that they were going to have to pay, because they realized it was a sin. They realized it was contrary to the way that the Almighty made them. Many people say that the angels were made without a will. That's not true. We can see that right here. That the angels had a will. They had a will to do right, and they had a will to either do wrong. They had a choice. Who was their leader? Now let's see. Let's go back. It says, I told you the angel's name, it was their leader, and we found out that they knew that they had a penalty to pay of a great sin. And they all answered him, and said, let us swear an oath, and all behind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. They were steadfast and bent, or I should say, let me put it on this wise. A lot of you can understand it like this. They were hell bent on doing what they were doing this plan. They were so determined that they was going to do this. Then answered they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecation upon it. And they were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecation upon it. And these are the names of their leaders. Well, now there's a bunch of names, and I'm not going to read all those names. I'm not going to spell all those names, but it's a bunch of angels. It's about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 of them that were the leaders of their groups. Okay? All right, now, chapter 7. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one. And they began to go in unto them and to defile themselves. You see, when you go and do something outside of the perimeter whereby which the Creator has intended for you to go, you become defiled. Women that are painting their faces, arching their eyebrows, wearing makeup, eyeliner, shadows, lipstick, fingernail polish, and all that stuff, you are defiling yourself. You're defiling yourself, which is a sin in the eyesight of the Creator. We can't do those. Women, you can't do those things. Men, there are certain things that you brothers be doing, but we'll talk about you later. Right now, we're going to deal with women. Because our sisters are so much into this thing, man, and it is leading them so much astray. So many people, so many of our brothers is dying over a woman. You know, it's leading women into thinking the wrong way and to believing the wrong things, and desiring the wrong things and having the wrong attitudes. This kind of stuff, you know, it brings a vanity about you. It brings vanity. You become vain. You become heady. You become high-minded. You think more highly of yourselves than what you ought to think. Very much. And, oh yeah, you lie to yourselves and say, no, that's not true. I'm not that way. I'm a humble person. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're nowhere nearby humble. That's the deception that the adversary is deceiving you with, because you are walking in league with the adversary and not in league with the Creator. Let me get back. All right. So they took to themselves wives, and when they taught them charms. Listen to this part. Listen to this part. They took themselves wives with them, and they taught them charms and enchantments. Listen to this. And the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants, and they became pregnant, and they bore great giants. You hearing this? The women even became pregnant by these angels, and they bore giants. Some of these women died from bearing these giant babies. These babies grew, and they became what is called the Nephilims. Nephilims. These things grew astronomically tall, and they had ferocious appetites, and they did all kinds of sin against mankind. So these things that is happening, that took place, these angels that taught these women these things, taught them all kinds of iniquities and all kinds of customs and stuff. These are the same angels that taught women to beautify themselves with this stuff, this makeup. The makeup is a wicked thing. It is an ungodly thing. It is an abominable thing. My dear sisters, my Hebrew Israelite sisters, you genetic Hebrew Israelite sisters that know who you are, and you people that call yourself African American women that don't know that you're the children of Israel, You need to understand that these things is wicked in the eyesight of the Creator and must be stopped. We must relinquish these things, go back to being natural the way the Almighty has said for us to be, and be satisfied in the way that He has made us. I want to bid unto you all, shalom.